Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Cask 529. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
Tonight, we're going to be doing a blind to see how Green River Foolproof compares to 1792 Foolproof and Weller Foolproof.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Shona, what do you think of this lineup we've got?
I'm pretty excited about it, honestly.
I am too.
I'm really excited because it is a blind for both of us.
Right.
So, luckily we had someone who was nice enough to pour it and it's a used envelope, but it's in here. And I did write on it. I just, because we were kind of rushed tonight putting this together, to be honest. And so we snagged that person. We're like, hey, can you pour these? That way it's a blind for us. So the Weller is 114 proof. 1792 is a little bit higher at 125 proof. And the Green River is 117.3 proof. Now, I wanted to test the Green River Foolproof, especially against the Weller, because I know the Weller's right around the same proof point.
Right.
And I truly love the Weller Foolproof. However, I really like the 1792 Foolproof too.
Well, and the Green River, although new to us,
it was good. It was very good.
So this is going to be interesting.
It is. And so really, I just wanted to see, honestly, just for myself, which one's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are three great bottles from what we've experienced so far. So
yeah, I'm ready to dig in.
Yeah, I am too, I think.
Okay, let's start.
Going to have a little.
He wasn't too ready to dig in. He's prepping himself with some water, guys. All right.
Sean has always wanted to throw me right into this proofy stuff, which I like proof.
This will be our first pour of the day, so it might hit our palate the wrong way the first sip or two. Very nice nose. A lot of caramel, vanilla.
Really sweet nose.
Yeah, a little bit of baking spice on it. Nice nose. As expected for my first taste of the day, a little hug on the tongue. Finishing with a nice vanilla and a caramel. Some of the spice I mentioned. A little bit of a tobacco note for me. And guys, I know you can probably hear Rex chewing on his fishbone over there. I'll tell you what, as soon as Bryan ever turns on the camera ready for us to start filming and he goes, "Are you ready?" I swear Rex immediately goes and finds his chew toys and starts chewing. Once the camera is off, like Bryan walks around the bar, he stops. It's hilarious.
Tonight he was laying by our bar's in the basement. Tonight he was laying by the back door, perfectly quiet. I said, "Are you ready?" She said, "Yep." And I could hear him walking out around. Okay, for me, whatever number one is, first sip, I had a real creamy viscosity, really, on the palate.
Yeah.
And this is weird, and I almost wonder if I'm not starting to train my nose a little, because I almost got like a confectioner's sugar feel in my nose, like the powder, you know.
Yep.
And I got a little bit of that on the palate. Not a lot, but I did get a little bit of
it is sweet.
Yeah.
On the note, on the palate, of course. It's really good. Again, I got a little bit of a cocoa note that time as well, along with that tobacco note. It is very creamy, like you said. It's a really good pork.
It is.
I almost want to say a little bit of molasses as well.
Yeah, too early to take any guesses, but I'm not surprised that we like it because
we like all three of these. So on to number two. Again, another nice nose. This one, I'm getting the vanilla on it, but it's more of almost a cereal grain type smell when I first lifted it up. It's a sweet nose as well.
Now I'm just getting the sweet on that. I can't get specific with that one as I did.
Yeah, it's just a little bit grainy, like the cereal grain. It smells really good though. I like it.
Super smooth.
It is. That grain again comes through for me. However, it's very good. It finishing with a little bit of a cherry note, but I'm getting the spices. I'm going to taste it one more time because
and the warmth is really low, and I kind of get that cherry with that warmth. Overall, that drink's. It has the feel of a much lower proof.
It's like 100 proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I did feel that number one, first it had that nice hug. Second sip in, I didn't get that as much. However, it still had more of a proof point, I feel, than number two does.
Yeah, I agree. This number two is really super smooth, and it has a good flavor. I don't think it's quite as complex as number one was.
I really like the nose, the grains and stuff I'm getting on the nose.
It just didn't have that. It just didn't have that punch when it hit the palate.
Again, picking up the grains, I'm picking up some pepper, a little bit of caramel, some vanilla. Again, I'm getting that cherry note on the end. Very oaky, drier finish on the end as well, with some light char all the way through. It's very good, very good.
It is. It's got a really good, a good flavor. Like I said, it's definitely sweet on the palate. At least to me, it is.
Again, it's just a little less proofier, I feel, than number one. It's a little bit thinner than number one. Number one was a lot creamier on my palate. On to number three.
Guys, while I'm thinking of it, if you would all hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already done so. The channel is still continuing to grow, and we appreciate all your support. Drop us a comment. Have you had any of these? What do you think of them? I know I always say that, but I like to hear what everybody thinks about what we're having. So
I'm getting a lot of vanilla bean on number three. Almost reminds me of like vanilla bean ice cream. It's really...
Got to take your word for it.
Yeah.
Can't help you any.
I am getting a little bit of char and a little bit of caramel and stuff on it as well. But to me, the vanilla is really pronounced in this. Okay.
Now that's a little proofier than two. Still doesn't compare to one, I don't think. I get a lot of vanilla on the palate.
I get a lot of vanilla. I get a lot of fruit throughout the taste. Some baking spices. It has that nice cherry note on it for me.
You know what? You said fruit. This is
very fruity.
This is really specific and off the wall. You had mentioned pear last week. The first time I think we had ever mentioned pear, and it might have been in the Green River lineup. I don't remember.
Could have been.
I get like a warm pear. Didn't come out of the refrigerator, like it'd been sitting on the counter. Almost the texture's almost there for me too. Like I can almost taste it, feel the texture.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to go back through these, but I'm going to say number 3 is like hitting all my marks. It has some oak to it. It has a little bit of baking spices to it. It's very fruity throughout. Finishes with that nice cherry note that I like. And it lasts. Like it's still lingering. It's has a little bit of creaminess to it. I felt like number 2 was good, but it was a little bit thin compared to 1 and 3. Number 3 overall is a really good pour. But again, I want to go through them one more time.
I'm going to do Mike's horse race when we place him tonight since we don't have numbers on them. Are there numbers? Oh, I do see a 1 there.
We have numbers, but you can do the horse race. You can practice for the
There
next
it is.
live.
I see it. I see it. I didn't realize there were numbers on them.
Yeah, unless you wiped them off, Mike.
I pretty much did pull, Mike. That's okay. I know what.
Am I going to have to start using the charms for
No.
you?
No, absolutely not.
I think Bryan needs the charms.
There'll be no charms when Michael's not here.
Going back the other way now, on number 3, I'm getting a tobacco note on the nose when I brought it up this time. And I really enjoy that tobacco note.
Don't laugh. Hope Mike's not watching.
I hope Mike is watching. Number 3, it really is checking all the boxes of flavor profiles that I really enjoy. It's good. But I really like the nose on number 2 the best, I think. Nice. It's a nice grainy. It's so, you know, takes me back to farming. It really takes me back to the farm.
Yet?
Well,
I know you haven't tried one.
I want to get back to number 1 because it was the first taste of the night, and I feel like maybe I wasn't.
Yeah, what one does to me when we retaste it is going to determine everything, I think. But right now, I think I know where I'm putting it.
Number 2, still a solid pour, a little bit thin. I'm going to say it's probably a little bit proofier than number 3 though. I know you kind of said the opposite, but I think number 2 is a little bit proofier going back the other way. Love the flavors though. It does have good flavors. It may come in last for me tonight just because the thinness, but it's still a really good pour. Like if you poured me this, I would take it hands down because it is good. But it's up against two really good ones that we both like.
What I was just going to say too is we love them all by themselves. But when you compare them and you start, you know, how's this foolproof stack up to this foolproof? And then they start showing different, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, honestly, they're all a little bit hard to get. I feel these 2 are the easiest to get. And then this one, it's really hard to get.
At least here in Ohio it is. It's pretty rare. Our first bottle, this bottle actually, was a gift from Sean out in Arizona. And then we got one on a special drop.
Okay, so on the nose, I am going to say number 1's now my favorite, honestly. Really nice sweet nose. I really like the nose on that one.
I'm going to say this. I liked them all, just like I thought I would. Number 1 is my first place because of that. It still had that proofiness to it. It still presented itself as the highest proof, and it may not be the highest proof, but it drinks a higher proof. Number 3 jumped ahead of number 2 because I feel like it's just a little bit more complex on the palate. Number 3, although still good, was just pretty one-dimensional to me. And was really, it drank like a really low proof. And I know it's not that low based on what we have here, but it drinks low.
Okay, so we both put number 2 in last place. I actually put number 3 as my first place and number 1 as my second place. But we both do have number 2. So let's start with number 2 since it is in last. Drum roll. Oh, number 2 is the Green River. So.
Okay, so that is for this lineup. That's our last place, although we really like the model.
And number 1 is 1792, which is 125 proof. So it makes sense that you said it was the proofiest because it is the proofiest. So Bryan's first place is the.
So this is my lineup right here.
Yeah, this is Bryan's lineup.
First, second, third,
yep.
And then yours just changes these.
Yep. And honestly.
And that doesn't surprise me because every time we've had this bottle,
I know, I love it.
You have loved it.
I do, I love it. And I just get that nice cherry note, but it's really fun to taste it against other ones because I think it helps bring out some other flavor profiles.
I think it does. It really makes it shine.
Yeah, but the fruitiness on it, now I will tell you, number 1, which was the 1792, ended up having the best nose for me. It was a really sweet, delicious nose. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggled a little bit, but then I recalled all that fruitiness and the nice lingering cherry note that the Weller Foolproof had. And so that's why it got number 1. However, the Green River also had the cherry note on it, but it wasn't as in your face as what number 1 was.
Nowhere near.
Right. And it was a little bit thinner, where these were both creamy and kind of hung on. They had nice long finishes. This one had a good finish as well, but it was just a little bit thinner.
Yeah.
The flavors out of all 3 of them are wonderful.
They really are. They're all good bottles.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with any of them.
No, you cannot. So this was fun.
It was. That's a great little comparison there. Green River 1792 Weller.
Yeah.
Green River to us, we just recently, I don't want to say we discovered it because we've known of it. We just recently got our hands on our first Green River.
Yeah, and we've got everything but the single barrel now.
Right.
Now, we have not had the Green River Rye on the show yet.
Correct.
We have opened it and tasted it like a really little tasting, or I did at least. I don't know if you did or not.
I don't remember.
Hopefully we can get maybe it lined up with some other ryes here soon, see where it places. We really like the line. Obviously we love the 1792 line. We like the Weller line too. All great lines.
And guys, that actually is a question that, help us out here. We've done a couple different rye shows. Do you like that when we get a new rye that we compare it with existing ryes we've done before? Because it's kind of cool to add and then compare to what you already have existing, just to see how it stacks up with what you thought you've enjoyed.
Absolutely, it is.
So I think that's all we have for tonight, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, so I know it's only Sunday night. We talked a little bit today, maybe trying to get a live put together for Friday.
Even if it's just him and I?
Got to get all the logistics worked out on that. But stay tuned. We'll announce something in the next 3 days if that's going to happen. So until next time, stay safe, everyone.
Thanks.